It happened at my niece's birthday party, a day that was supposed to be about balloons, cake, and family. Instead, it turned into a nightmare for my daughter and me. While I was at work, my parents and my sister did something I will never forgive. They held down my 12-year-old daughter, Sadie, and cut her hair. They said they didn't want her to outshine her cousin on her big day. My mother's only words were, "Don't make a scene."
I didn't argue that day.
But I made sure to act in my own way. The next morning, it was my family crying at the police station, not me. I didn't see the scissors in their hands. I didn't see the cruel smiles on their faces, or hear the sound of my daughter begging them to stop. I didn't see them brush away her tears like they meant nothing. But I saw what was left after. I saw the broken look on my little girl's face when she walked out of that house, and I swear that was enough to change me forever. That image will never leave me. It was my niece's 13th birthday, and because of my Thursday hospital shift, I couldn't go with Sadie. Working in a hospital means you miss a lot of family events, but I thought a cousin's party was safe. Family is supposed to mean safety. That's what I believed, at least until that day. Sadie had been looking forward to this party for weeks. She planned her whole look carefully. Her hair was her pride. She took care of it every night, wrapping it in a silk bonnet before bed, so the curls would stay perfect. She had begged me to let her go to a real salon, not the cheap place at the strip mall where the lights buzz and the haircuts are rushed. "I want to feel pretty, just this once," she told me. So I worked extra shifts and canceled my own plans. I gave her the money, $120, and she got the style she wanted. Soft curls, half up, with pearl pins tucked into a braid on the side. She was glowing that morning when she asked me, "Do you think Audrey will like it?" Audrey is my sister Lydia's daughter. I smiled and said, "She'll love it. You look beautiful." Sadie had even made a gift by hand and wrapped it in glitter tape. I kissed her goodbye, dropped her off, and went to work thinking she would be surrounded by people who loved her. I thought she was safe. I see now how foolish that was. That night, when I pulled into the driveway, I felt something in my stomach twist. It wasn't nerves. It wasn't even fear. It was that deep sense of wrongness you only recognize later, when you realize your trust has been broken in a way you can never undo. The front door opened, and Sadie stepped out. For a second, I didn't even know it was her. Her long, beautiful hair was gone. Not trimmed, not neatly cut, just hacked away. Some pieces hung down to her chin, others barely touched her ears. It looked like someone had grabbed garden scissors and cut at random. She kept her eyes down as she walked toward me, her shoulders stiff, her breath short and shaky. "Sadie," I said, getting out of the car. What happened?" She tried to smile, tried to be strong, but I could see the pain in her face. That was what broke me the most. "They cut it," she whispered. Then she burst into tears. My chest felt like it split open. "They cut it," I repeated, unable to believe it. She nodded, her voice so small it nearly broke me in half. "Grandma and Auntie Lydia." Rage burned through me. I wanted to turn into stone and shatter. I wanted to storm into that house and throw everything to the ground. But Sadie was crying, her whole body shaking. So I knelt down, pulled her into my arms, and held her while she buried her face in my neck and sobbed. "Can we go home?" she whispered. "Not yet," I said. My voice was calm, too calm. That calm scared me more than my anger. I put my hand on her shoulder, and we walked back toward the house together. Part of me hoped someone would step in and try to stop me. No one did. Inside, Lydia was stacking paper plates like nothing had happened. My mother was wiping the counters, chatting about leftover cake as if she hadn't just destroyed a little girl's trust. The whole house smelled of frosting and betrayal. I stood in the doorway and asked, "What happened to my daughter's hair?" Lydia didn't even look guilty. "We told her to put it in a ponytail. She refused, so we cut it." I just stared. "You cut it?" She was being difficult, my mother added quickly. "We gave her a choice." "A choice," I repeated slowly. My hands shook. "So, let me get this straight. You told a 12-year-old to do something she didn't want to do. And when she said no, you punished her by cutting her hair off." "It's just hair," Lydia said. "No, it wasn't. They kept talking like nothing was wrong. Audrey was crying too. Lydia snapped, pointing at Sadie's hair. You think that's fair? You show off your daughter with that fancy salon hair? Fancy salon hair? I repeated, feeling like I had stepped into a bad dream. You know we can't afford that, my mother added. What were you trying to do? Make Audrey feel bad? Embarrass us? She was showing off, Lydia said. You made my daughter feel ugly on her birthday. I just stared at them. These were my own family, talking like Sadie was some rival at a high school dance. She wasn't. She was just a child with a kind heart who had made a gift for her cousin with her own hands. I couldn't even feel my hands anymore. My voice came out calm and flat. I'm taking her home. I didn't wait for their answer. Sadie was still standing outside. I took her hand, and we walked back to the car. She kept wiping her tears as we drove away. Halfway home, she whispered, Do you think it can be fixed? My throat tightened, but I forced myself to answer. We'll make it beautiful again, I promised. She believed me. That's what broke me the most. She still believed the world could be put right. I didn't scream. I didn't yell at them. I didn't even cry.
Not then.
But soon, it would be them crying at the police station. People like to talk about signs. Red flags. Warnings. Times when you should have seen the truth. I wish I could tell you there was a big moment in my childhood. A slap, a scream, a locked door. Something dramatic.
But no.
It wasn't like that. It was quieter. Smaller. Constant. Like poison disguised as love. You don't grow up knowing you're the second-choice daughter. Not right away. It happens slowly, like water dripping from a ceiling. Drip after drip, until one day the whole ceiling crashes down on your head. My sister Lydia is 3 years older than me. For the first 16 years of my life, I never questioned why she always got the nice things. The prettier dresses, the shiny shoes, the lip gloss, the compliments. Let your sister wear it. She's older. You don't need makeup. You're still a little girl. That top is too grown up for you. You don't want people looking at you that way. Never mind that by the age of 12, Lydia and I were almost the same height. People at school even mistook us for twins. But at home, we were treated like we lived on 2 different levels, her above, me below. I never asked for much. All I wanted was not to be dressed like some lost camp leader every time we went out in public. But it wasn't just about the clothes. It was about how my parents looked at my sister and how they looked right through me. I didn't think I was pretty back then. I liked video games, books about dragons, and messy ponytails that always fell apart the moment I left the house. I wasn't trying to impress anyone. But apparently, not trying was the problem. The truth is, nothing feels more threatening to a girl who craves attention than someone who gets it without even asking. Lydia never said it out loud, but I saw it in her face. Every time a boy noticed me instead of her. Every time someone thought I was the older sister. Every time I made people laugh without effort. And when that happened, she always flipped the story and made me feel like I had done something wrong. I remember one time when I was 15 and she was 16. We were getting ready for a family friend's wedding. She burst into my room in full meltdown, mascara running down her face. Why are you wearing that dress? She snapped. I blinked. It's the only one that fits me. Did you do something to your hair?
No.
I just washed it. The way she glared at me, you'd think I had committed a crime with a bottle of shampoo. You know Kevin's going to be there, she said. Kevin, the boy she had liked for 5 years. He loved football and math and, for some reason me. Not that I liked him back. I just talked to him once about a book we both enjoyed. Don't you dare flirt with him, she hissed. I'm not. I started, but she slammed the door before I could finish. Later that night, my mom pulled me aside. Couldn't you have worn something less flashy? Your sister was really upset. The dress I wore? It was gray. Just plain gray. Over the years, these little things kept piling up. Lydia would forget to tell me the dress code for events. She would hide my makeup bag when I needed it. Once, she swapped my conditioner with shampoo, and my hair looked like it had been styled with static for a whole week. But what cut the deepest wasn't her tricks. It was how my parents always took her side. No matter how petty, no matter how obvious, they saw me as the problem. Always me. I was called difficult, too proud, too sensitive, too much. 11 years later, I thought I had outgrown it. I thought success would finally balance things out. I worked my way through med school, through residency, with long hours and no sleep. No one gave me a break, but I kept going. I bought my own house. I married a man who treated me with respect. Imagine that, respect. I gave my daughter, Sadie, everything I was never allowed to have. And I told myself, maybe this time it would be different. Maybe now they would see me as my own person. Maybe they would treat Sadie better than they treated me. But they didn't. They couldn't. I started noticing it during visits. Sadie would show up to family dinners in a cute outfit she picked herself, and my mother's lips would tighten. Don't you think that skirt's a bit much for a little girl? She's 12, I would say. Lydia wasn't much better. She would make little digs in front of Audrey. Wow, Sadie, that's a lot of hair for someone your age. Do you always wear makeup, even to school? Sadie wasn't wearing makeup. Just clear lip gloss and glitter clips. But the message was always the same. Don't stand out.
Don't shine.
Don't make Audrey feel small. And Audrey, poor girl, soaked it all up. She copied her mother's jealousy, as if it were the truth. Once, after a family barbecue, I caught her whispering to Sadie in the hallway. I didn't hear it all, just the end. You think you're so special just because your mom lets you go to the salon. Sadie never told me the full story, but I could see it on her face. She looked smaller, dimmer, like someone had pulled her light away. I didn't realize then how deep it went. I didn't see that the same silent rules still existed, the same games, the same threats behind fake smiles. Not until the birthday. Not until Sadie walked out of that house with her hair hacked off. Not until I heard her whisper, "They cut it." That was the moment it all clicked. It wasn't about discipline. It wasn't about a child misbehaving. It wasn't even about some misunderstanding. It was punishment. Punishment for being pretty. For shining. For daring to stand out when she was supposed to stay quiet. They saw in Sadie the same thing they hated in me. And they came for her. I thought I had escaped it. Thought the worst was behind me. But I hadn't. Without realizing it, I had led my daughter straight into the same trap I grew up in. She said it while I was pouring tea. They held me down. No warning, no tears, just 4 flat words, spoken like she was reading the weather. Sadie sat at the kitchen table in her hoodie, legs tucked under her, staring into space. I froze mid-pour.
What?
They held me down, she repeated. I told them no. Aunt Lydia pushed me into the chair, and Grandma said, "It's just hair. Stop making a scene." And then they cut it. I didn't answer. My hands were tight around the teapot, like I could squeeze justice out of it. They were laughing, she whispered. Grandpa said I needed to be humbled. Audrey was filming. So was Paul. He said he was going to send it to the group chat. She blinked. I don't even know what group chat. I slowly sat down because if I didn't, I was going to break something. They filmed it, I asked. Sadie nodded. Paul had his tablet. He held it up the whole time. He thought it was funny. Audrey told them to get the front too. I stared at her. She looked so small in that chair, smaller than ever. And in that moment, something inside me went cold. I wasn't just angry anymore, I was ready. Sadie, I said softly, what they did to you wasn't just wrong. It was illegal. Her head lifted. Really?
Yes.
It's called assault. They touched your body, without your permission. They held you down. They cut your hair, your identity, your freedom, while you cried. That's not just hair. That's a crime. She looked down again. I felt like it. That's because you were right. I paused. Do you want to report it? Her eyes widened. To the police?
Yes.
If you say no, we won't. But if you say yes, I'll take you today. She didn't answer right away. She picked at the string on her sleeve. Then she whispered, yeah, let's do it. I told her we'd need proof. Sadie tilted her head like I had forgotten something obvious. Paul filmed the whole thing. I raised my eyebrows. You're sure? He was standing right in front of me. It was like a YouTube vlog. I handed her my phone. You want to ask him? She didn't even hesitate. She pulled up his name and typed. Hey, Paul. I know you filmed it. Can you send me the video? 40 seconds later, he replied. Okay.
Just like that.
No guilt, no hesitation, just a laughing emoji and a video file. We watched the video together. It wasn't long, maybe 12 seconds, but it was enough. There was Sadie, crying, her voice breaking. No, please no. Lydia had a fistful of her hair. My mother stood behind them, arms folded, as if she was just watching chores being done. My father sat on the couch with a plastic fork in his hand and said, She'll thank you later. Paul laughed in the background. Audrey shouted, Do the front next. Sadie sat silently as she watched. Her face showed nothing, but I could feel her pain. When the video ended, she turned to me and asked, Can we go now? We went straight to the police station. No waiting.
No second-guessing.
I didn't even change clothes. Sadie was still in her hoodie. I still had yesterday's makeup on. None of that mattered. They sent us to a detective named Melissa. She was in her 40s, with a simple haircut and kind eyes that didn't flinch as we told her what happened. Sadie handed her the video like it was evidence in a courtroom. Melissa put on headphones and watched it twice. She didn't say much, but her face told the story, her features tightening, then sharpening, then settling into quiet disgust. Finally, she said, We're opening a formal case. You did the right thing by coming in. Sadie stayed calm the whole time. She answered every question clearly, even asked a few of her own. When Melissa explained that a child advocate would be with her for the follow-up interview, Sadie nodded, almost proud, like she had just been chosen for something important. She wasn't trembling anymore. She wasn't scared. She was angry. By the time we walked back to the car, Sadie felt different. She wasn't joyful, of course not, but there was something lighter about her. It was like the heavy silence she had been carrying finally lifted. What happens now? She asked. I told her the truth. There will be paperwork, a follow-up interview, maybe a court case, maybe protective orders. It won't be easy, I told her. Sadie nodded. Good. That one word gave me chills. That night, the phone rang. I didn't know the number, but I knew the voice the second I answered. Are you insane? My mother barked. No hello, no pause. You went to the police. You actually called the police over hair. She didn't wait for me to speak. You're going to ruin everything. Do you understand that? You're going to destroy this family. Is that what you want? I let her rant. I let her pour every ounce of fear and anger into the phone. And when she finally stopped to breathe, I said, You should have thought of that before you assaulted my child. Silence. We didn't assault anyone, she finally snapped. It was just a haircut. No, I said, steady. It was humiliation. It was violence. And now it's evidence. Another long pause. Then she tried again. You're not thinking clearly. You need to calm down. Tell that to the detective. I hung up, and I didn't feel guilty. Not for 1 second. But it wasn't over. Not even close. The next morning, my phone rang again. I was already holding a cup of coffee and a grudge. This time it was Lydia. Her voice was shaky. CPS showed up at our house, she said. They came unannounced. They asked to see Audrey's room. They wanted to know if we had scissors lying around. I stayed quiet, stirring my coffee, letting silence say what I didn't. What the hell is wrong with you? She whispered. You actually went through with it. You pressed charges. No, I said. I just reported what you did. The rest is on you. It's hair, Piper, she cried. There it was again. That same tired excuse. Just hair. Just fun. Just sisters. Just childhood. No, I said firmly. It's holding down a crying child. It's cutting her body without her consent. It's filming it and mocking her. If that's what you call parenting, I'd be worried too. Her tone shifted. She started begging. Please, retract the report. You're tearing the family apart. You've made this so public I could lose my kids. You should have thought about that, I said, before you touched mine. I hung up. No goodbye. No softness. Just the click of a boundary locking into place. But deep down, I knew this fight wasn't finished. They wouldn't stop there. That afternoon, someone sent me screenshots. There they were, my parents and Lydia, posting on Facebook, twisting the story like it was some kind of show. It was just a game. Sadie wanted a makeover. Piper is unstable. She always overreacts. They even added, "We love Sadie." We were bonding. Bonding? Is that what we're calling it now? Bonding by holding her down? One comment said, "I've known Piper for years, and she's always been obsessed with appearances. It's sad she's using her daughter like this." Really, Millie from church? That's your big opinion? I showed the post to Sadie. She scrolled through the comments, her lips pressed tight. "They're lying," she whispered. "I know," I said. "They're getting away with it. Not if we tell the truth." I looked at her carefully. "Would you be okay if I posted the video?" She lifted her head. Not like a scared kid, but like someone done being pushed around. "Please post it." So I did. No rant, no long speech. Just this. This is what they call a game. This is my 12-year-old daughter crying while they hold her down and cut her hair. She said no. They laughed. And then I attached the video. It spread fast. The same people who called me dramatic that morning were tagging me with apologies by the evening. I take it back. This is awful. Why is that kid laughing while she's crying? This is assault. I'd pressed charges too. Even the people who doubted me started deleting their comments. Amazing how fast the truth sinks in when there's video proof. Sadie sat beside me as we watched the view count climb higher. I glanced at her. She was smiling, not a big smile, but the kind that said, "They see me now. I'm not invisible anymore." 3 days later, my phone buzzed. A text from my dad. "Hey, your rent transfer didn't come through this month. Was there an issue?" I stared at the message, then typed back. "No issue. I'm just not paying for people who laughed while my daughter begged them to stop." Come on, Piper. You're really cutting us off over a haircut? And there it was again, the excuses, the denial, the refusal to call things by their real name. I wrote back, "It wasn't a haircut. It was an assault. And when you had the chance to admit it was wrong, you lied about it on Facebook. Also, if you ever try to contact Sadie again, I will report it." A pause. Then their reply, "Well, I guess money means more to you than family."
I didn't respond.
Not because I had nothing to say, but because I don't argue with people who mistake consequences for betrayal. Later that week, Sadie and I went back to the salon. The stylist was kind and gentle. She knew exactly how to handle hair that had been destroyed by kitchen scissors and family cruelty. She didn't promise to make it long again. She didn't say she would fix it. Instead, she leaned down to Sadie and said, "Let's make this yours." An hour later, Sadie stood in front of the mirror, touching her new haircut. She tilted her head, smiled, and said, "I look awesome." And she did. The following week, Sadie gave her full statement at the police station. She walked in like she owned the place. No tears. No fear. She answered every question clearly. When they asked how it made her feel, she said, "Like they thought I didn't matter." When they asked why she was reporting it, she said, "Because I do." I sat beside her, my hands clasped, listening to my daughter take back her voice. When we got to the car, I asked, "Do you ever want to see them again?"
She didn't even look at me. No.
Never. I nodded. "Then you won't. You get to choose who's in your life now and who's not." A month passed. The case went through. None of them went to jail. I didn't expect they would. But it stuck. It mattered. My mother, my father, and Lydia were all convicted of misdemeanor assault. Each of them got a criminal record. Each of them had to pay a fine. But Lydia faced the hardest consequence, and she deserved it. She was ordered to finish a full parenting course, and CPS would be watching her household for the next year. I heard from someone that Brian threatened to leave her. Their vacation got canceled. The stress was breaking them apart. And I didn't feel bad. Not even a little. Sadie still refuses to see them. She doesn't want them at her school events, at birthdays, or anywhere near her. And I respect that every single time. Because now I know listening to her choices isn't just healing, it's giving her back her power. They already stole enough of it. Not anymore. So, did I go too far? Or maybe not far enough? Some people say I overreacted, that I should have kept it in the family, that it was just hair. Maybe they'd be right, if we weren't talking about my 12-year-old daughter being held down, mocked, and violated by the very people who were supposed to protect her. Maybe justice looks quieter to them. But to me, justice looked like my daughter walking into a salon with her head held high. Justice looked like her knowing that someone would finally fight for her. So, I ask, should I have gone further? Cut them out sooner? Drag them to court until the ink dried on their guilt? Let me know in the comments. And if you want more stories like this, raw, painful, and just a little bit satisfying, hit subscribe.